Genghis Khan, a name that once shook the earth. The man who led the Mongols to build the largest empire in human history. A strategist, a warrior, a ruler whose rise was soaked in blood and brilliance. But this story isn't about conquest. It's about something rarely spoken of, something buried beneath centuries of violence and victory. It's about love. Yes, love. The relationships that shaped the man behind the legend and helped shape the world he ruled. Before he became the Khan of Khans, he was Temujin, a boy born into the harsh realities of the Mongolian steppe. His father, Yesugei, was a powerful warlord, but feared more than he was respected. Ruthless and impulsive, Yesugei made too many enemies. One of them finally got to him, poisoned during a negotiation. Temujin was just 9. What followed was abandonment. With no leader, Temujin's clan turned their backs on the family. His mother was left to raise her children alone, hunting for roots and rodents just to survive. This was Temujin's first taste of betrayal, and his first lesson in power. If you don't control it, you'll be crushed by it. Amid the struggle, one constant remained: Borte, the girl he was promised to as a child. She didn't just become his wife, she became the only person he could truly trust. Temujin and Borte married when they were teenagers. It wasn't a political move, not yet. It was rare, a union rooted in loyalty. But just like everything else in his life, even that bond was tested. Not long after their marriage, Borte was kidnapped by a rival tribe, the Merkit. They took her as revenge for something Temujin's father had done years earlier. Temujin didn't have armies yet. He had friends, alliances built on promises and desperation. But that was enough. He launched a raid, rescued Borte, and brought her home. That rescue wasn't just about love. It was personal. It was political. It was power. Later, when Temujin rose to become Genghis Khan, he made Borte his empress. Not just in title, but in influence. She had a voice in matters of succession. Her sons, Yoshi, Chagatai, Ogedei, and Tolui, were the only ones eligible to inherit the empire. Borte wasn't in the background. She was at the core of the Mongol state. As Genghis Khan's empire expanded, so did his court and his list of consorts. To the outside world, it looked like luxury. Dozens of wives and concubines, women from conquered territories, Chinese, Persian, Khwarezmian, Tangut. But in truth, these marriages were weapons, every bit as strategic as any siege or cavalry charge. By marrying the daughters of defeated kings, Genghis created political hostages. These women weren't just symbols of peace, they were insurance policies. If a ruler thought of rebelling, he'd think twice, because his daughter was now living in the Khan's camp. Some of these consorts gained real influence. They served as translators, intermediaries, even advisors. A few bore children who would later govern major regions of the empire. But not all the relationships were smooth. There were whispers of forbidden affairs, of women Genghis loved who were considered off-limits by tradition. These were more than rumors. They led to rivalries, even assassinations inside the royal court. Power in the Mongol Empire didn't just come from a sword, it came from the people closest to the Khan's tent. Genghis Khan fathered many children, but only the sons of Borte were seen as legitimate heirs. This created tension, especially around his eldest, Yoshi. When Borte was rescued from the Merkit, she was already pregnant. That led some to doubt whether Yoshi was Genghis's real son. Genghis publicly accepted him, but the suspicion never died. When Genghis eventually divided the empire, he split it among Borte's sons. But their rivalries were intense. Yoshi and Chagatai nearly came to blows over succession. Genghis had to step in and name Ogedei, his third son, as the next great Khan. Even after Genghis died, those divisions kept growing. Brothers fought brothers, alliances fractured, civil wars broke out, yet the bloodline survived and spread across Asia. Genghis's children and their mothers would shape dynasties from Russia to China. History remembers Genghis Khan as a warlord, a man of unmatched cruelty and cunning, but it forgets the man who risked everything to rescue his first love, the ruler who used marriage not as pleasure, but as a political masterstroke, the father who built a succession plan that would last for generations, even if it tore his family apart in the process. His love life wasn't just personal, it was strategic, it was dangerous, and it was key to how he ruled. Behind the bloodshed, there were bonds. Behind the conquest, there was calculation. Genghis Khan didn't just conquer the world with armies. He did it with love, loyalty, and a ruthless understanding of human connection. If you learned something new, like and comment below. Which of Genghis Khan's relationships surprised you the most? And remember, some stories of power are written not in war, but in love.